I first met Beth Mulloy in 1997. Looking back, she made a significant impact on who I've become and what I understood the Navy to be and the spouse role.
In the very beginning, I remember when I would see the Admiral spouse be the chairman of the organization, and I would sit there and say, how can they do this?
She was a very shy person, and that's hard to believe for people now who know her. Over the 43 years we've been together, I was always impressed when we went to Connecticut. We wanted to have kids, but she wanted to have a different job. And so she became a tour guide at the Mystic Marine Life Aquarium and fed the animals, because she said, I want to learn to speak to people I don't know almost every day. And so she did that and became gifted at doing and talking to people she'd never met.
I was extremely shy as a child and also as an adult. So I knew that I had to overcome that fear. And so it forced me to talk to people, and it really helped. It helped me overcome my fear. From that experience, I learned that I can do anything that I put my mind to. I knew that eventually I wanted to help military families.
For spouses, their job is what they want it to be, but because she's Beth Mulloy, and I'm better known in the Navy as Mr. Beth Mulloy because she's so well known, is she viewed it as taking care of the crew, because that's what takes care of the sailors and allows the mission.
I believe that serves your country, making sure your families are taken care of so your husband can go out and do his work. That's what she taught me, how to serve. You know, she doesn't put on a uniform every day, but she puts on her mom uniform or her spouse uniform, and she does that pretty well.
As a Navy spouse, I felt like it gave me a sense of purpose, it gave me opportunities, and it gave me a sense of belonging in a group of other spouses who are going on the same journey as me. Because our lifestyle is so unique and it's so different. There's a lot of challenges, but the rewards are much greater than any challenge that we have. I learned this a long time ago when our first child was born with a heart condition and passed away. And I remember the Admiral's wife, I had never met her before, showed up at our door to pay her condolences. And I remember thinking at the time how difficult that was for her to come to our house and she didn't even know us. I learned a lot from that. I learned compassion. I learned that sometimes when things are very difficult, you do need to step out of your shell. You need to go and help others. You don't know how they're going to react, but you need to try. You need to try to make a difference in their life.
You rely on your support structure, and she became that for me. She was my phone call. You know, I had a significant situation that happened in my life, and she was the first person I went to. It was, I unexpectedly got pregnant with my third child, and it was not something that was even remotely in my plan. I was older, so I didn't know how I was gonna manage. Joe was home at the time, and I walked in. I don't even think I knocked on the door. I think I just walked right into their house, and she goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I need to talk to you." By the end of it, I was laughing. You know, this was a good thing. This was, and it, of course it was a good thing, but it threw me. She just made me feel like it's gonna be okay. I get emotional. Don't want to get emotional. Always there. Unwavering support. Sorry.
It is Tuesday, September 11th. In the news this morning.
One thing I'll say about that day is one of these days was just achingly beautiful. I mean, I'll just never forget. It was almost like it was going to be the perfect day.
It's going to be an ideal day today.
And I got to the Pentagon and we're chugging along on things.
Almost everyone knows where they were on 9/11. I was with Beth that day. I remember going for a walk and heading down towards the Pentagon. We were going for a walk in Arlington National Cemetery, so we decided We hadn't gone down by the way of the Pentagon. We had never been over there.
Hey, this is Dulles Press Control. We're tracking a fast-moving primary heading towards the White House. The White House has been advised.
All right, I'll tell him. Yeah.
And we're walking, and all of a sudden I hear a plane.
When the plane approached the Pentagon, it came right over where we were walking.
Crystal City, just north of Crystal City.
Just to the north of your town.
It was low. It wasn't in the right flight path. We looked up. I mean, I remember going, this is strange.
And as she said that, I saw the cloud of smoke come up from the side of the Pentagon.
When it looks like it went into the Pentagon.
And I said, I see it. And I said, it's hit the side where Joe works.
And so it shook my seat. It didn't knock me out, but almost did. And I look up and there's ceiling tiles are falling in. There's smoke out of all the ventilation ducts, and flame just filled the window. And I saw a wheel from the airplane strike the bricks. Luckily it didn't come in the window. You could tell it had to be right near us. I didn't know where it was. It turned out later on it was directly below my desk.
Oh my goodness. We're looking at a live picture from Washington, and there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon.
And all of a sudden, it's like something switched in my brain, and I thought he was gone.
And she's like, get back to the car, get to my house. She took off running, I took off running. We just went into crisis mode.
I got out to the street, was walking around to go back in again the side, and that's when they said another plane coming, and they pushed us all back out of the area. I tried calling people, I couldn't get a hold of Beth.
And as you can imagine, the line of communications are down. You talked about cell phones, almost impossible to use. Anybody out there is waiting for a call from a loved one and you know they have a cell phone. The biggest problem here is solid information.
So from the time of impact, it was about 2 hours and 45 minutes.
I eventually got on a bus out to Seven Corners, and I was calling her from the bus.
I actually picked up that phone call. He said, this is Joanne. I said, okay, great to hear your voice. Let me get Beth.
And I just burst into tears, just knowing he was okay. Then he said to me, Beth, I need you to do something for me.
So I said, Beth, I know the 10 people I was with got out. I don't know about the rest. I have a list in home in this location. I need you to pull it out and just start calling people. Just check them off if they got home okay.
So he's going to take care of things on his end, with his people in his office. So now she had to take care of people on her end, the spouses.
I said, Joanne, I need your help. And she said, what do we need to do? And so I ran and grabbed another phone, and she said, I'll watch you make the first phone call. I'll listen, and then we just started banging out the phone calls. We called 121 people. We got a hold of everyone.
She just did her job. That is who she is. She just puts your mind at ease. Everything's gonna be okay, no matter what. But yet her husband is the one who was in the most peril.
President of the United States takes pleasure in presenting the Distinguished Service Medal, Gold Star in lieu of second award to Vice Admiral Joseph B. Mulloy, United States Navy.
Her husband is hugely successful, and he would not be where he is without her. I firmly believe that, and I know he does as well.
I don't joke when I say I'm known around the Navy as Mr. Beth Mulloy or Admiral Beth Mulloy.
What I'd like to do at this moment, because this is such a tremendous Navy family, I'd like to ask the whole family to come on up. I'm tremendously proud of their two sons, Tyler and Connor.
So I've been a military mom for 9 years, which is a very different capacity than being a spouse. When it's your son or daughter serving, it's actually been rewarding to watch them, to grow as a person, to see this young child grow up and decide that they wanted to serve.
The Secretary of the Navy takes pleasure in presenting the Distinguished Public Service Award to Beth L. Mulloy.
At my retirement, she received the Distinguished Civilian Award and Medal from the Chief of Naval Operations on behalf of her fantastic service throughout my career, especially as supporting Navy families, but basically her entire career of taking care of families. It's a very prestigious, the highest award a civilian can get.
Her interactions with families provided a solid foundation to prepare the next generation of Navy spouses to take on the challenges of Navy life.
So as a wife of a flag officer, Beth has set the example to serve. She taught us all how to serve. Everywhere people needed help, she was always willing to provide help.